So we are going to solve a triangle. So it told us little a, it told us little b, find the measure of angle A for the right triangle where C is the right angle. Okay, so I'm always going to start by drawing out my triangle. C has to go here. Okay. Did they tell us any other sides? No. Now they did tell us little a was 11. Little b is 15. So we need to find big A, big B, and little c. I think the easiest to start off with would be little c. How are we going to find little c? We know two sides of a right triangle. Pythagorean theorem, let's do it. And little c is actually the hypotenuse, so we don't have to rearrange it. We can actually use it in that form. And that's going to equal 11 squared plus 15 squared. All right, go ahead and solve that for C. So I got 18.601. Did anyone else get that? 18.601. Okay. So now let's go ahead and find big A. So what trig ratio do I need to use to find that? Is this a sine, a cosine, or a tangent? What is 11? In correlation to big A, is it opposite, adjacent, or the hypotenuse? Opposite. Does everybody see that? This is the opposite. It's opposite of this angle. Okay. The 15 is right next to the angle. Now, we do have the hypotenuse 18.601, so we could technically use that. But in my opinion, it's always best to use information that is given to us if we can. So would I take the inverse? So to find A, am I taking the inverse tangent of 15 over 11 or 11 over 15? It's opposite over adjacent. 11 over 15. All right, go ahead and type that in. So I got 36.254. Anybody else get that? All right, now lastly, to find angle B, we're just going to do triangle sum. So angle B is going to equal 180 minus 90 minus 36.254. And you could technically do the inverse tangent of 15 over 11. So you have some options there. So did you get 22.024? No? Daniel, what you get? Oh,
That's what I think.
that's where everybody was like, "Ugh. What am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong question. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure you're paying attention, okay? It is, I'm looking at example 4, sorry. 53.746 degrees. Okay. I was wondering, I'm like, what's the holdup? We just subtracting 2 numbers. All right, go ahead and draw example 4. Draw it out. C is the right angle. So we know little a, I know little c, and that's all I know. So I have to find A, B. I have to find capital A, capital B, and little b. All right, which one do you want to find first? Aaliyah, what you want to find first? Big A, big B, or little b?
Big A.
Big A. All right, so if we're going to find big A, we got to figure out the trig ratio that we're going to use. So I know that it's 4.5 opposite, adjacent, or the hypotenuse. What do you think, Janiyah? What do you think the 4.5 is? Is it opposite, adjacent, or the hypotenuse for angle A? Opposite. And 12 is my hypotenuse. So to find A, we're taking the inverse sine of 4.5 over 12. So that's the 22 that I was looking at. 0, 2, 4. All right. Now we're going to find B. That's triangle sum, 180 minus 90 minus 22.024. Go ahead and see what you get. So who got 67.976? All right. All right, so now we just have little b. So let's set up our Pythagorean theorem. All right, so Pythagorean theorem, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. You got to subtract that 4.5 squared. And then lastly, you're taking the square root. So take the square root of 12 squared minus 4.5 squared. So I got 11.124. Anybody else get that? All right. Any questions about how to solve a triangle? So solving a triangle, you have to find everything you don't know. So I think you all would agree that this chapter, first of all, you get to use your calculator, is a lot easier than where we're coming from. The hardest part is that there's a lot of word problems. All right, so let's go ahead and start looking at word problems and see if we can digest it. All right, so we have two different types of angles. The first one gives you, it's a regular triangle that's upright. All right, this is what you get when you look up. Okay, so we call that the angle of elevation. Angle of depression, whenever you see that word, I want you to draw a triangle that's upside down. And that's what you get from looking down. That's the big differences between angle of elevation and angle of depression. So it says you can think of angle of elevation in relation to the movement of your eyes. You are looking straight ahead and you must raise or elevate your eyes to see the top of a tree. But for angle of depression, if you're standing at the top of a lighthouse and you're looking straight ahead, you must lower your eyes to see something below. So that's why when you see those key words, I want you to immediately draw your triangle. Okay, so let's look at the first one. A tower casts a shadow that is 60 feet long when the angle of elevation of the sun is 65. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my triangle like this, because it's angle of elevation. 65 is going to go down here. And this is my tower. So this is my little tower. So where am I going to put the 60 foot shadow? Does it go at the bottom? Does it go here? Or does it go at a slant? Let me go ahead and highlight. That's the hardest part. So here it is. These are my three sides. Where am I putting the 60 foot long shadow? Blue, pink, or green? Blue? Wait, what you say? Who says pink? Who says blue? Who says green? Robin, what you say? Yeah, you're in the class. So it is the green. So it is here. It's asking us to find how tall the tower is. So is that the blue or the pink? The blue. All right, go ahead and set up your ratio. Label the 60, label the x, figure out if it's a sine, cosine, or tangent. All right, who used sine? Who used cosine? Who used tangent? Oof. Maybe that's why I don't get much participation in this class either. But it is tangent. Okay. This 65 is right next to the angle x is opposite. So it's going to be tangent of 65 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. When you cross multiply, x is going to equal 60 times the tangent of 65 degrees. Maybe draw my little sun on here too. Okay, what you get, Kamaya?
128.670.
Okay. All right. Anybody else get that? All right, good. Let's go to number 6. So, keyword, angle of depression. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my triangle upside down. So Matt is standing at the top of a cliff. And the cliff is 305 feet above the lake. I should really... Okay. I should have made it go the other way, but it's okay. All right, so this is 305 feet high. The measurement of the angle of depression to a boat is 42 degrees. So this is 42 degrees. All right, how far is the boat from the base? So the thing about angle of depression is kind of tapping into, do you remember that in a rectangle, opposite sides are the same? Opposite sides are congruent. So you can actually put this 305 over here. So I'm looking for the distance. This is the lake, but it's the same distance at the top. So go ahead and set up your ratio and solve it for X. Because we have to know this. We don't know that. But we know this, and we know this. So we know opposite, and we know adjacent. So that would be tangent. So got tangent of 42 equals 305 over X. So when you cross multiply, you get X times the tangent of 42 equals 305. And then you have to divide by the tangent of 42. So pick up your calculators and take 305 divided by the tangent of 42. What you get, Janiyah? 338.
Yeah, 338.
Okay. 338.737. Is that what anybody else get that? All right, good. Let's keep on moving. Word problems. Let's look at number 7. A ladder that is 20 feet long is leaning against the side of a building. The angle formed between the ladder and the ground is 75 degrees. How far is the bottom of the ladder from the base of the building? So here is my building, and here is my ladder. I don't like that ladder. I'll do it again. It's taking up too much space. Here we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. So we got the ladder. The ladder is 20 feet. So I'm going to put that right here. The angle formed between the ladder and the ground is 75 degrees. So am I looking for this angle here that's in blue? Or would I be looking for this angle at the bottom, which is green? Who says blue? Who says green? Yeah, because it says with the ground. So we are going to put that 75 right at the bottom. And it's asking us to find how far the bottom of the ladder is to the base of the building. So that would be this side. If it asks us to find the height, then I would put it opposite. But we're looking for the adjacent side. Go ahead and set up your proportion. Makara, what did you use? Sine, cosine, or tangent?
I use sine.
Not quite sine, because we don't know the side opposite the 75. So this X is right next to it, so that would be my adjacent side. What's the 20? Hypotenuse. So we have to use cosine. Cosine of 75 equals X over 20. Go ahead, cross multiply. So you would have X equals 20 times the cosine of 75. And I got 5.176 feet. Anybody else get that? Okay. No, it's okay. Okay, whenever you get an answer that looks like it's a radical, like, you have to hit the button above the enter. With the two triangles, that changes it to the decimal. Okay, we're going to skip 8, go to 9. Let's look at example 9. All right, Kelly is flying a kite to which the angle of elevation is 70 degrees. Oh, this should say, I got to fix that because it says 215 feet, right? Yeah. Because I changed it from meters to feet. So this is 215 feet. Okay. All right. So angle of elevation. I'm going to draw me a triangle that's upside, facing up. Well, actually, before I do that, I don't want to draw my triangle first. I kind of like to draw what they're saying. So we got Kelly. Kelly is flying a kite to which the angle of elevation is 70 degrees. The string on the kite is 215 feet long. All right, so I'm going to pause for a second, and I'm going to draw Kelly. And then I'm going to draw her kite. And I'm going to make the string go to her hand. Wait, let me not make the string the same color as her hand. That's the string. So the string is 215 feet. Normally, when it states angle of elevation, we put the triangle on the ground. But this time specifically, it's telling us that she is holding it above the ground. So when I draw my triangle, it's not going to hit the ground. And it's also telling me, and I think yours says 3.5 feet, not 3 feet. Gotta fix that too. It's also telling me that this distance from here to here is 3.5 feet. Okay. How far? Oh, and the angle of elevation, that's next to her. So put the 70 right there. So what it's asking us to find is this total distance, which would be this piece and this piece. So first I'm going to find that little blue piece by doing trig. So go ahead and label your 3 sides, or not 3, 2 sides. We know 215 is the hypotenuse, but is x opposite 70 or adjacent to 70? Opposite. So I'm going to have to use sine. The sine of 70 equals x over 215. All right, go ahead and solve that for x. And what's important here is you're going to get 215 times the sine of 70. You have to close the parentheses because this is one number. Then you're going to hit the plus sign and add the 3.5. If you don't close the parentheses, then you're taking the sine of 73.5, and that's not what we want. So you're taking 215 and then sine of 70 plus 3.5. All right, who got 205.534? All right, last example. Example 10. All right, so example 10, it says, a security camera in a neighborhood grocery store is mounted on a wall 11 feet above the floor. So this is my wall, and I'm going to draw me a little security camera. This is my little camera. And this distance is 11 feet. So it's hitting another wall. It says that it says what is the angle of depression? So it's asking us to find the angle of depression. Let me go ahead and draw. My right triangle is upside down. It says that the camera is hitting this point right here on the wall. That's where the camera, well, actually, I would probably, yeah, we'll say that. It's kind of like hitting there. So that would be, what is that, 5. So it's 5. The distance from here to here is 5 feet. It also says that from wall to wall is 10 feet. And they want us to find x. Okay, what we gonna do? So we do know that this side is 10, so I could put the 10 up here. But in order to find an angle, I need to know 2 sides. So how can I figure out this distance? Because that's the distance I need to know. 11 minus 5, which would be 6. So this is 6 feet. So this is my triangle. So this is the angle of depression. 6 feet is opposite 10 feet is adjacent. Go ahead and determine your trig ratio and set it up. Now you're using the inverse. Anytime you're asked to find an angle, it is the inverse.